Welcome to Signs Unscripted. I'm Robin Donovan, Signs of the Times editor-in-chief, and with me today is
Mars. Hi guys, my name is Mars Bravo, and I am the owner and sign designer for Signs from Mars here in Los Angeles. How are you?
Very good. I'm happy to finally have a podcast guest in my own time zone. Very exciting.
Yes.
So Mars, you have a cool name. And when I first heard about your sign company, I was like, wow, I wonder how they got that. Signs from Mars. Like, that's so neat. And then I realized that's your name. So
Exactly.
very cool. So how old is your business and what kind of things do you primarily do?
So I've been in the industry for about 6 years now, but I started my own company this past December. So I've only been doing this on my own for a few months now.
Okay.
But I took those years of sign making to just learn and try to acquire as much skill as possible, knowing that one day I was going to want to start my own company.
Okay. And so not exactly an auspicious time, perhaps. You started and then COVID was like 2 seconds later. So what did you do? Like, how are you surviving?
Well, you know, it's funny. It's obviously nobody really saw this coming, like in
Right.
terms of like, we just woke up one day, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
wait, what? And then, but so in December, I started really good. I started, I had built a lot of relationships with people that I continue to work with that I had been working throughout the years. So I was really blessed to have them come along this new journey with me, and everybody's been really supportive and excited for me as well. So I started really good because I was doing a lot of event signage, like for tours and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I was having a lot of fun with that because I'm also a musician. So when I get to incorporate both of my worlds together, signage and music, I'm just like a kid in a candy store, basically.
But so what's your instrument? Where do you play? Or
I play, my main instrument is guitar. So
okay, cool.
I play guitar. Yeah. So when this started, I started my own company, but I was already like working remotely, and I was already like trying to get jobs, like going out there presenting myself and like just sort of saving money also,
Right.
because I had just gone into a new world where I was like, okay, I don't know how things are going to go until I get like a little bit more situated. And then, so a lot of the stuff that happened when people were like in quarantine, I didn't feel it right away because I was already doing that since December. Like I was already
saving like, and kind of panicking.
Yeah,
you're prepared.
Yeah, so like I've been saving money. I was being like really generous with my time, and like I was working remotely, sometimes from home. And I have friends who allowed me to like use their studios as well. And so like the vibe was kind of that of like the quarantine stay at home sort of
Survival,
thing.
yeah.
And so then when it happened, I was like, why is everybody freaking out? Like, wait, I don't know. Everything's the same to me. And so it wasn't until it got like, the show started getting canceled and stuff like that, where I was like, oh, I need to shift my focus from the tour event stuff or like to other type of signage so that I could keep getting work, which is exactly what I did. I just kind of reacted really quickly to that. And I just went to where I was needed, where my services were needed, as opposed to like where I was finding fun,
Right. Yeah.
And so
all
good to know though that
not touring and So
yeah.
when you're looking at work that you're finding now, I remember, so you were interviewed, our associate editor, Grant Freaking, interviewed you for our August issue. So folks can go check that out if you want to get the long form version. And I know that you had mentioned some kind of unique ways that you're helping businesses like find their own identity. And I wanted to connect with you about that and just see, because it's so interesting to hear about, having this musical background and thinking that you're going to go and make signage for all these touring music groups, I think, right? And then all of a sudden, no one's touring, nothing's happening. So how are you kind of like standing out at this point?
Well, I think what helps me a lot is my creative background and just seeing things from a different perspective. And because now everybody is trying to find a way to stand out, that it's just not so much the typical things that have been done before. They're just automatically attracted to the way that I present, for example, their logo, or the way that I would suggest that we use the signage for their business to actually attract people. So, right now when certain businesses are slowly reopening, but not a lot of people know that they're reopening. Like, yeah, they have people in there, and maybe you drive by or maybe you check or call, but how do you tell, people that you're open? So it's like, do you just hang a banner and say we're open, or do you make it like a grand, like big deal, like, hey guys, like we're back stronger and better, and like just get everybody excited so that they can feel like everything's under control and have the experience that they miss having in their favorite places.
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting point to make, and something we don't talk a lot about. But this idea of using the sign not just for information, but as a confidence inspiring thing. And I think folks don't realize, like, I know there's a coffee shop near me, and they really quickly started doing ordering, like where you talk into this little microphone, and there's a whole like signage system on the outside window that tells you how to do that. And it really presents them as like this leader. And then you think, well, of course I'm not going to, I mean, we know that COVID transmission through food is like almost none, but at the beginning we didn't know that. And it was, to me, like super confidence inspiring. I was like, well, they put all this effort into creating this system. So I think it's not only that, that they're open, it's what you're saying of feeling like these people have their, what together.
Right.
So
because I think signage does more, like it does more than just communicate like a brand name or like something as simple as we're open. I think it's supposed to give you a feeling, a sense of safe, like being safe, or a sense of like, hey, these people put a lot of detail into the materials that they're using here. And so you feel that, you feel like this is really cool. Like they love what they're doing. So it translates to you. And then, like you said, you just went to a coffee shop. Yeah. And then you're like, I want coffee from this place because it must be good. And, so I think it's like sort of an unspoken, like you said, an unspoken thing about signage is that we forget that it does more than just exist there.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot of like unconscious things that come with it. And I pay a lot of attention to those kind of things because I'm constantly thinking of the materials, the way that they'll present themselves to people, the way that they'll have contrast against the place that it's going to be installed, and how just like those little details. And I think that's what is helping me just be a little bit different
and help people stand out. So speaking of standing out, we can't end this without me asking you, what is hanging behind you? My team's always like making fun of me because I don't have any art. I swear I'm getting some, but like, what's your
I'm gonna send you some stuff. Cool. Actually, it's funny that you asked. This piece is a Shepard Fairey piece. Years ago, I was had the opportunity to work for a fine art printing studio, and he actually outsourced a lot of his fine art prints to that studio. So I assisted in the printing of this one. Awesome. And so when you assist, or you're the printer, silk screening, by the way, this is silk screen, you get a printer's proof. And so this is a printer's proof, which is outside of the series number. And so it's signed and everything. And I actually fabricated this custom frame for it myself.
See,
sales
pitch right there.
Some signage there. So I'm actually really proud of being part of making this piece, and I'm excited I get to actually have it.
That's awesome. All right, so let me ask you one more question. I know we're running out of time. What are your tips? You're just getting started. You're brand new. You have this like fresh perspective on the sign industry. When you look at like the old guard and, these institutions that have existed for a long time, and you're a brand new sign company owner, what are you looking for in the industry? What do you want to see?
I want to see people just get more involved in showing or displaying the sign making process more. I feel like that's gotten a little bit lost throughout time, where we just present the finished product. Like there's the sign, or maybe some shots of installation, but not really too in depth. And I think because we are losing a lot of the people and the skill, and like just people being interested in sign making, maybe has a little bit to do with the fact that we don't show the process, and we don't talk about how fun it actually is and how creative it actually is, and how it's still a very strong ongoing industry. And so I'm using all my social media platforms to show that through video. So I'm showing a lot of the production, and I'm just putting a lot of content out there to just show people, even if it's just, you know, a small group of people right now. I just want them to see how much fun it actually is and how much work it goes into it, because it is a very cool craft that requires skill. And I think we should just have more sign makers out there. So
I agree.
as a new company owner, I want to basically just bring that back a little bit, you know, just encourage people to really go out there and get what they want, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So where can people go to find you online? What's your website and a couple social media handles?
My website is sciencefrommars.com, and the handles are Science from Mars on Instagram, on YouTube, LinkedIn, which is where I found you, and also Facebook.
Fantastic. Well, Mars, thanks so much for joining me today. This has been really fun.
Yeah, absolutely, Robin. We'll be hopefully linking up again.
Yes.